Good morning and welcome back to Sunday Storytime here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we are going to continue our read-through of Star Wars Jedi's Honor, a solitaire adventure starring Luke Skywalker. Now, this was released in 1990 from West End Games and is a choose-your-own-adventure style story where we go through and make the choices for Luke Skywalker as the story progresses. Now, because we're doing this on YouTube, it is up to you, the viewer, to actually make those choices. I will be reading through, and when we reach a decision point, it'll be up to you to leave a comment down below, and whichever decision receives the most votes by the end of the week will be the next portion of our story. But before we get started, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any of the subsequent story points. And so, make sure you're subscribed. We also have links down below to social media on Facebook and Twitter. Feel free to follow us so that you get notified when additional videos come out. But all in all, we're here to have some fun. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. All right, now last week, the Imperial General had just walked off with a stranger, and Luke wasn't quite sure what to do. But there was a prospector that, kind of started talking to him. So the choices were, is Luke going to ask the man about what he has just seen, or is he going to just finish his meal in the tavern and leave? Now, based on your votes, Luke is going to ask what was just seen, so let's see what happens. Luke studies the robust prospector for a moment. His careful gaze misses little in the room, yet he does not appear overly interested in the affairs of others. Luke knows well that you cannot judge a man by his appearance, but he senses no inherent hostility or evil in this being. That general promises a rough journey, Luke says. He keeps his eyes trained on his meal. The prospector stops eating and openly studies Luke for several moments. At last he nods. He'll deliver, make no mistake. It was smart to mind your own peace. Might have gotten the whole lot of us killed. Luke returns the man's frank appraisal. Was it? Somebody should resist the Empire's oppression. The prospector looks back to his meal, and Luke fears that he spoke too openly. A moment later, however, the bearded man says, "That'd be truth, son, but that fellow's a coward." A yellow-furred biped with slit pupils sits next to Luke. "The Gideon distorts the fact," the biped whispers through his short muzzle. "The Treadway leads the resistance movement." Luke listens more carefully. Like all spacecraft pilots, he has standing instructions to investigate any local resistance movement he encounters. Tell me more. He teaches that bloodshed, even against the foul oppressor, is in itself evil. He'll learn the error of his ways in Tolado, Gideon whispers. Sebastian Parnell believes in bloodshed, and a whole lot more. Tolado? Luke asks. The sector prison planet, the biped answers. Once one enters, he dies to the galaxy. We will never hear from the Treadway again. Gideon spits on the floor. Just as well. What fool will rise up just to get killed? Give me somebody who can handle a saber. Gideon drops his gaze to Luke's utility belt, and I'll follow him into the Emperor's black heart itself. Almost involuntarily, Luke glances at the inactivated lightsaber hanging from his belt. He has the uncomfortable feeling that Gideon expects something from him. Have you seen someone fight with a lightsaber then? Luke cautiously asks. Sure, Gideon replies. Axton Treadway, Erling's father. He calls himself some sort of knight. That what you are? No, not yet, Luke answers absently. Erling's father was a Jedi. What happened to Axton Treadway? The Empire tracked him down. Then some Dark Lord killed him. And a shame it was, too. Luke's heart sinks, but he suddenly feels a mysterious kinship with Erling. Not only had their fathers both been Jedi, but they had probably died at the hands of the same man. If you are not yet the knight, the furry biped says, then you study the ways of the Jedi. Luke does not respond to the biped's deduction. If the legend speaks true, the biped continues, you can save Erling. Don't put any fool notions into this youngster's head, Gideon snaps. You'll get him killed, Sydney. Sydney ignores Gideon. Will you try? Don't do it, son, Gideon warns. It's easy enough to get into Toll Otto, but you'll never get out. You'd best go about your business and forget Erling Treadway. Luke does not reply immediately. Gideon is correct. Attempting to rescue Erling is foolish. Imperial prison planets are notoriously secure. Although his orders leave latitude to investigate local resistance movements, even the most liberal interpretations would not permit penetrating such an installation. Of course, rebel officers can always use their own initiative to abandon a mission in order to pursue an unexpected opportunity, as long as that opportunity is more important. But no matter how Luke looks at the situation, he cannot say that Erling Treadway is more important than searching for a new base. He knows little about the man except that he has an unusually commanding presence and is urging the local life forms to passively resist the Empire. Only the probability that Erling's father, like Luke's, was a Jedi Knight prevents him from rejecting the rescue attempt automatically. On the other hand, it hardly seems appropriate to abandon his mission in order to pursue what is ultimately a very personal task. All right, we have reached our decision point. Is Luke going to just forget about Erling and go on about his business? Or is he going to attempt to rescue Erling? So, those are our two choices. Put them down in the comments. Let me know what you'd like. And come back next week where we'll continue the story. But regardless, thank you so much for your time. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're following us for more content. And we'll talk to you next time.